Okay, so we're alive with this presentation of the projects that I think might be required for our Condo, and my voice is being recorded, and this screen is also being recorded. So we have a list of small repairs, and let me start from the repairs first, and I will show you just one by one.
You need a mouse pad?
No, it's okay, it's okay. I'll use just this paper. Oh, okay. Yeah, that will work. Thank you. Okay, so first in the list it's like backstairs landing, and I don't have any specific document for this, but I have a few pictures that I wanted to show you. So this is the back stair. It's the back entrance to the garage.
Right. Okay.
It was kind of, there was like a patch of cement that was installed, and over time, because moisture was getting into the stairwell, it was basically freezing, unfreezing, and eventually the top portion of the landing cracked and popped open completely. And so what I did, because it cracked, I decided to remove it completely. Okay. I removed the top because it was all cracked. You probably see it right there with all of these cracks everywhere. So it was bulging. I think I showed Eugene.
Yes.
So I removed it completely. It was just, the floor was very uneven, and I did some research because there was a drain into that area. Mm-hmm. I tried to remove the soil. It was filled up with soil, and I was able to reach for about like 2 feet inside of the pipe. I found some roots inside, but I decided to wait and see what happens with the water when it gets into the drain, and it actually drains. It somehow, yeah, it somehow gets through the soil and disappears somewhere. I don't know where it's going, but it definitely goes. So that's how the drain looks like after I filled it up. Basically, it's like a rainwater from the. So this is just something that we just need to probably reinstall this. Let me just show you. You see this grill?
Yeah, under the door.
Yeah. So because this area is already cleaned up and there is there is no debris or anything, we just need to install a new cement, kind of level it, make sure that we have a proper pitch, and install this little grill in there. So the drain, we don't have to do anything with the drain because it does work. It's not perfect, but it does work.
So would you be installing another drain where that hole is?
We just need to install another level with the new cement and make sure that we have a proper pitch from the corners of this area.
Oh, toward the drain.
Towards the drain, yeah.
There.
Yeah, because it wasn't done this way. Water was collecting in the middle. That's why it was like in the winter cycles, it was freezing, unfreezing, and the cement was cracked. And that black, it's actually soil. It was filled up with like all kind of insects and worms and yeah, but it's all cleaned up right now.
Okay.
So that's the first. So if you'd like, if you have any questions for this particular one, you can ask me or just write down your notes for me. So another second item would be roof leaks. Again, I don't have any specific document for this, but over the past few years I was taking pictures of the roof elements. We have leaks in 2 spots. One is above unit 43, and it looks like this. So, and this is actually was repainted a year ago when the unit was sold. They did paint it, but I mean, obviously the moisture is still getting there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and there is another picture here. It's like a little bit easier to see. So the paint is kind of peeling off. It's like you can see this. Where it's happening on the corner of we have this like a plastic roof like above the atrium, And there is a place, let me show you a few pictures that I took. That's the corner, and let me go a little bit further. It's the same corner. This is LED. It's called LED flashing. You know, they sell this LED in rolls. It's easy to apply because it's pliable material. It's very easy to cut and, you know, seal it. My understanding is that whatever happened to this LED, you see it's all kind of warped and with holes. It's just because of the galvanic corrosion. So apparently they were using wrong type of nails. That's why you see all of these holes in the LED.
Right.
Because there is a corrosion between. And this is the spot where it leaks to the unit 43. Usually the leaks happens when we get strong wind from this direction, when it goes from this direction towards the you know, end of the like side of the roof of the atrium. That's when we get the leaks. If we have like just rain and it doesn't really, there is no wind, it doesn't leak.
Sorry, go ahead.
This one?
No.
What?
I was going to ask about to the right. Is that the roof, over the atrium, I guess?
This is plastic.
That's plastic?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this corner, it's right above the unit 43. So unit 43 sits directly underneath. So the leak happens somewhere in this area. So, again, let's see all of these holes.
Yeah.
It's just corrosion that was eating. Maybe there was something in the rain, maybe it was like acid rain or something, because it looks like it's just whole lead is folding. It's not supposed to be doing this. So again, that's another picture. It's another one. And this is another spot that I found. This is the top, the black part. That's the elevator shaft.
Okay.
So if you go to the 4th floor and look at the like around the door and a little bit on the right, you will see also like a bubbling paint and it's like traces of moisture that was there. What happened in this area, again, that LED flashing, it's separated from the rubber because like up top this is rubber,
right,
and this is LED flashing that was supposed to be covering transition from the wall to the roof. It's all bad, it's all torn, just corroded, and you see this.
Oh, it's even torn.
Yeah, it's just because, well, I guess because of the heat, the sun, because it heats a lot of these materials. But again, we see the same signs of decay of the LED flashing. It's all old and tired. And this is.
So I'm wondering if they can just replace the flashing without doing the whole roof.
Yeah, so I put it in a section of small repairs because I can call a company just to give us estimate for the roof, just a kind of assessment of the roof condition. Okay. And I also show them those pictures and say, hey, we have 2 places where we have leaks. Would you be able to fix this for us without replacing the whole roof? That's why I put it in as a small project.
Even though the whole roof is
fine. I mean,
pretty old, but this is the problem, not the plastic sheeting of the roof.
The warranty expired like 2-3 years ago, I think, but the roof does not leak. Okay. And again, roof is rubber.
Okay.
And it's easy to, if you look at the...
So the only places where it's leaking are where the flashing is
it's
damaged.
the flashing. I don't know about the company, if they would look at this flashing and they will see, oh, there is a leak here, but the whole flashing is so bad. Let me replace the whole flashing around the whole atrium roof. They might just offer this instead of... Because if you see, it's all bad.
If it's all damaged, then... that might be a good idea.
But it's just by some reason it leaks only in one spot. It leaks on this particular corner. There is a chance that it might be leaking here, but I really doubt. This is a drain.
Okay.
This is a drain that I cleaned up a little bit. Usually it gets clogged
Right.
with leaves and branches and everything, and usually there is a huge pool of water sitting on the roof.
Oh.
But
Now,
when
I'm curious, where does that drain to? Is there
to the street, we don't see it.
Okay.
It goes underneath of the building with all of
It's just
yeah. We don't know where it's
somehow
from.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I still feel that this is the area where it leaks.
Sure.
So that's number two. That's the project number, small repair number two. Let me just go to the next one. It's going to be number three. It's utility room leak. It's not a big problem anymore because like we had this leak coming from the top. You might remember these spots after the rain.
Mm-hmm.
So I took some pictures and I found the spots where it was leaking. You don't have to actually pay attention to this too much.
No, those are from the
It's from
wall.
it's
near
from
the roof.
inside. It's from inside.
Okay.
That's the new roof that was installed not like
Okay.
3 or 4 years ago. And this is basically you don't have to look at this. I found the leak where they were happening around this pipe. That's electrical pipe. That the wiring
Okay.
for the lighting of the back of the building.
Oh, okay.
So I found some leaks in there, and what I did, I just went on the roof. I removed the gravel and sand, power washed it, found some spots in this area where they were like kind of, it was patched and sealed but wasn't sealed properly. So I resealed it and now it's not leaking anymore. So this is not a project that we need to worry
Okay.
about. It's all done. So and in addition, what I found, Tadek, when he was installing this gutter,
Yes.
I guess he messed up with the level because the level of the gutter had a negative pitch, so the water was collecting in one end of the gutter, and I found that we need to drop it for 3 inches down to get the proper drainage.
Pitch.
That's also done. Oh, this is actually what happened after I applied the sealant again, so it's all sealed up.
Yeah, that's better.
So it's all sealed up here and there around the pipe, so it's not leaking anymore. So this is not a problem. This is how the gutter looks right now. I reinstalled it back, and I also installed the flashing. I had to buy aluminum to place it between the drip edge. You see this? The drip edge goes above the gutter. So,
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I had to buy a piece of aluminum, slide it underneath of the drip edge, and another part goes inside of the gutter. So this way the water does not get behind the gutter. So it's all done. I reinstalled the pipe, so it should be fine. It's working. So there is no worry about this. I'm just.
Well, we'll get to test it tomorrow. I guess it's supposed to be rainy.
Yeah, so that's done. So we don't have to worry about this. And the downspout is already connected, so it's all good. So next it's
Gate frame.
Yeah.
Painting.
So maybe a month ago I was cleaning some cobweb around the garage, and I found there's a lot of like leaves and almost soil around the gates frame. So I decided to kind of clean it up and vacuum just to see what's going on, because if you remember, we had these boards. It's just the bottom of the frame. I don't know if you. Let me give you another picture. Maybe this one is going to be better. So that's the left. If looking from inside, that's the left side of the gates frame.
Right.
So what I found, the gates, there is nothing holding the gates frame. It's not sitting on the ground.
Oh no.
Yeah, and this is why I took this picture. You see, this is the column. That's a
So that's the side of the building.
Yeah, it's a column that
yellow.
Yeah, And those are supposed to be siding boards. They all rotten because there was like leaves and soil and salt in the winter. So I cleaned it up, vacuumed, and you see there is absolutely nothing that sits over there.
Nothing attaching.
No, the whole frame sits. It rests on the rail. Let me show you. You see this? This is the where is it? This is a rail where the gutters go up and down.
Yeah.
And that's the only spot where the whole frame is sitting on the ground, because this rail is attached to the frame, so
Right.
they're interconnected. The bottom of the frame, all of the wood is rotten. It disappeared over the years. There is nothing, and just the whole structure sits on this little spot right there. So if you like try to shake it, the whole frame shakes. And the only reason why it doesn't fall down, because there are several strips of metal that holds this rail, because if you remember, the rail goes up and then curves along the ceiling. So that rail is actually attached to the ceiling. That's why the gates are not falling down. But if you look at this, Eugene probably remembers this story. At some point, we had tenants from Unit 16, Alex and Jennifer. Remember those? They brought some kind of vehicle with a long ladder on top, and they hit the frame of the gates with this ladder. So that's why when you see these two spots, like I guess that's where he hit it, and the frame kind of separated from its position. You see this soffit is kind of out of the place, and I think I have several more pictures here. Yeah, that's one of the spots they hit with the ladder, and you see the whole frame, it's separated from original position where it was like close to the column, and it's like leaning inside. I have a better picture for you to show you, maybe this one. Yeah, there is a gap. That's what happened, and this is the frame of the gates. It was moved inside. Maybe this one. It's not good. But you see, there's a big gap.
Oh, okay.
And this is actually, you see, this is the rail that goes. It's the rail that actually supports the whole wooden structure. This all wood, it all holds.
Supported by that piece of metal.
Yeah, that piece of metal that goes here, and as I said, the reason why the whole gates, they don't fall down inside, because we have this. You see this like brackets or whatever. It's like with the holes.
Yeah.
That's how the rail is attached to the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The reason why I brought this up, because I power washed the gates maybe a month ago, just to kind of clean them up. I also wanted to paint them, but I found that they are actually not aluminum. They're made of metal. And this is just a corner of the gate, so I tried to touch it with my finger. Just all of the rust was flaking off and just falling down. It's just something for us to think about this. The whole situation, I don't know if it makes even sense to do any repairs for this. We probably need to prioritize this and see if we need to replace the whole frame. Because if something happened to the gates and they remove the rail, there will be no frame. Frame will just fall down. The frame, the whole wooden structure would not hold.
Because it's not attached to
Yeah.
the ground. Yeah.
Exactly, because it's not attached to this part, the column. It's separated from the column, and it's not attached to the floor. So let me just give you this. That's another side. Another side looks better. This seems to be better. But again, this is the rail. Okay, that's I just wanted to bring this up. So we have this issue that we basically.
That looks serious.
Yeah, we have no support for the frame. There is absolutely nothing. You can slide your hand underneath of these boards. Yeah. And once we're downstairs, I can show you a little bit closer pictures. They're not very good. So next small repair, I wanted like painting of the building, and I took some pictures. Again, there is no project. I just wanted to show you the condition of the building.
When Tadek painted, he didn't come all the way over and do that side of the building.
He didn't
ask him to.
No.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything here. He painted this membrane. Obviously, it was white.
Mm-hmm.
So, and now because it's kind of the paint is peeling off, maybe he was using. Probably he should have used maybe oil paint, which is a little bit more expensive and rare, which because it sticks much better.
Oh.
So let me just go and show you.
So would that also keep moisture from coming through? I know we've had a problem over by the trash barrels. Moisture keeps coming through the wall when it rains.
I think it's more cosmetic. Cosmetics. This one, it's more cosmetics.
This one, yeah.
It doesn't affect anything. It just doesn't look nice. So this is. So let me show you. That's another wall. It's that's the back stairs, the stairwell to the garage.
Mm-hmm.
So there is some kind of yeah.
Okay.
That's the broken roof.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, right.
Yeah, so-
No, we're looking at the front of the building. Yeah.
it's front of the building. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, because of the
Some
heat,
of the plants are
yeah, they died.
good
Two
shape.
of them, they died. I also looked at the plants. So from our neighbors, they also had several trees. They just died because of the heat. This one, I guess, didn't survive. That's closer to Shirley's balcony. I just showing you there is some moss, like green stuff that needs to be power washed.
That's mold.
Yeah, and also it needs to be painted to the ground, like to the lower to the. This one needs to be power washed because this green moss, it's on your balcony.
There's a lot.
It goes
on my
up to probably
balcony.
2 or 3 floors, so it needs to be cleaned up. Again, this doesn't look nice, doesn't look clean, so it's.
Well, and also I noticed the balcony, the orange part. That's all. You'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get
Okay.
because I put this balcony as a
Another project.
separate project. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what you were talking about. This
Yeah.
moss that's growing on top. Again, it's front of the building, doesn't look clean and nice. Another picture from the front, and this is again front of the building, closer to Eugene's unit.
And it looks like the
This area.
pointing area, here, needs to be repointed a little bit.
This one, I
Or
think.
is that a bigger project?
I think it's just a membrane. It separates the foundation wall from the brick. So this way, the moisture from the ground wouldn't travel through, through the concrete into the brick. They put some kind of not sealant, but I mean some kind of material that waterproofs.
It looks like it's beginning to break down.
Yeah, maybe it needs to
Just
be
like
adjusted. Yeah.
The roof areas.
Obviously, like
This is
some pieces
different.
are missing
Yeah.
here, so something is still
Yeah.
there, but something is missing. It might need to kind of seal it with and then paint it over. Okay, that's closer to the gates. We also even that was painted recently, like 4 years ago.
Okay.
The paint it started peeling off a little bit. I power washed, so this one was kind of more green on the bottom, but I power washed it so it looks cleaner and nicer now.
It does.
Yeah, so this is another area, you know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is just a peeling paint. That's how it peels off.
Mm.
So obviously, it's the water from the roof. It goes underneath of these stones, and that's how it happens. But I guess if we would use a better paint, maybe oil-based paint, it would stick. It wouldn't peel off like this. And I think that's it. So that's what I wanted to bring you up about the
Okay.
painting of the building. It's not a big project. I put it as a small repair.
Right.
It
Okay.
doesn't need any specific, kind of contract. Maybe, well, maybe we need a contractor, but definitely it wouldn't affect any units or anything like this. Outside work. I also put a number 6. It's a painting the escape door. It's above Shirley's unit. It's unit 16. They have fire escape door. It's at
Yes.
Harry's balcony. So it's been like this for as long as I remember myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that really needs some attention.
yeah. We probably we can add it to the painting of the walls of the of
Now,
the
is
building.
that a metal door or is
I
it
think so.
okay?
Yeah, I think it's a metal
Like
door.
the front door
Yeah.
is metal.
Yeah, I think it's metal. Otherwise, it would be completely rotten. But it needs to be scraped, or maybe someone would need to use some kind of chemicals to strip it off completely off from the paint, and kind of repaint it properly, let it dry, and then shut it off. And also, there is some little bit of moss already. That's
Yeah.
the second floor. That's also need to be power washed. So that's another item that I wanted to show you. And number 7. Again, it's a small thing. That's why I put it as a repair. This is our entrance door to the garage lobby. When Larry was helping us with cleaning, he used to paint this door. I think he painted last time it happened.
Oh,
So the door takes a lot of beating from everybody because moving in, moving out,
Yes.
furnitures, and
Yeah.
everyday use. So that's why it looks kind of. But it also has a very thick layer of paint on top, so it might need to be stripped again. It's because if we paint it on top, it might not stick properly. So this is another item to keep an eye.
Okay.
Okay, and last one from the small repairs. I took some pictures of the carpet that we have. We had a lot of small, spots here and there. It's just basically this is by the elevator. I don't know what floor it is. I was just going around the building,
Okay.
taking some pictures, like dark spots. Someone was carrying trash and bag was, leaking. So you see all of these spots and trees. Another thing, I think that's closer to the elevator again. Some people put trash bags when they wait for the elevator and they leak, like there is spot. Another spot, it's next to 32 unit. Another one, that's 4th floor. That's another one. It's like on the gallery, I think, on the 4th floor. There is like spots again. Maybe that's another one. Those are small things. That's another. Someone left a bag. I think it's by unit 44. They left a bag with trash outside and it leaked. So that's another trace of spots. You see 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like someone was taking a bag with trash and it was leaking. Those are small things. That's probably could be done by, I don't know, maybe steam
carpet cleaning.
Yeah,
Company.
that's why I brought this to your attention. So that's all what I found from small things. And now I can show you what I think might be bigger things that much more serious. Remember, we started discussing our project like the driveway repaving. And then finally we found that we actually probably need to start looking into this problem from a little bit different direction and take care of the drainage issues from the hill. So that's why I put this project as a first one. In my opinion, probably would need to be done first. So let me open up this document. That's the document I published on Google Drive, and I call it like retaining wall at the end of the driveway. So that's how it looks like right now.
Okay.
Just a general view.
Yeah.
And you know, there is this property from our neighbors. There is a pitch towards our driveway, and there is a pitch from this hill, and there is some water coming from the roof of the garage. It all comes to this area.
Okay.
And collects here. And what happens after the rain, a heavy rain, we get, let me show you this picture. Not ideal. Basically, that's what we get, this situation from last winter, when the moisture was coming from underneath of the retaining wall. And I even took some video. Yeah, let me just move it here. I'm gonna just start from the beginning because there was no. Yeah, so that's the place from underneath of the retaining wall. And that's what happened when we get a lot of rain and then all of a sudden the temperature dropped. You see it goes and disappears under the surface of the driveway. The water just gets inside from underneath of the asphalt. And then because we have a pitch towards the street, it starts popping up from the bottom and refills that ice area. Ice builds up because of the cold. So when we get to the end of the beginning of the driveway, all of these cracks on the asphalt, that's where that moisture is coming from. See all of this moisture? It's seeping from underneath of the driveway. So that's just a video from last winter. Okay. What I found. Let me show you a few pictures. They're kind of a little bit random, so you will see. That's just a view of the retaining wall, how it looks like. You saw this multiple times. You see, we have this timber.
Making steps, yeah.
Yeah, they are not in a very good condition right now. And I will get you closer to that information. This is the new fence that we installed, and this is the property of our neighbors. That's where they have a ramp installed, so they can use, like, I guess, some kind
Wheelchair
of wheelchair or something like this. So what happened? This ramp actually creates a spot where all of the rainwater from their driveway comes down, and this is the lowest spot of their property. Okay. So the rainwater gets from this spot, gets on our slope. They also have an issue because this ramp is kind of steep. Whatever rainwater gets, it gets here and start eroding this area underneath of the concrete of the.
That'll damage the fence.
It's not about fence. It's just basically the soil disappears from underneath of the ramp. I'll get a better picture for you. So that's the picture I took from their property. So that's the ramp that they have, and this is where all of the. It's okay. It's okay. And this is where all of the water gets in this particular spot. That's where it gets to our property, and this is another picture. When you look at this area, if you look at this area, they installed this, I don't know how you call this, a column or whatever. And the next picture I'm going to show you, it's just that spot. You see, it rests it rests on some kind of concrete structure. And this is the picture we just ended up with. So that's what happens.
Okay.
And you can hold your hand underneath of this. It's supposed to be holding the stones, but it's just the erosion from the water. That's what happened. So that's another section of the retaining wall. They installed some kind of wooden logs. There is a deep holes around them, and you can also slide whole hand inside. I try to take a picture for you. You see this area.
Okay.
It's pretty steep. This one, you see how steep it is, because this is a vertical line, and this is like those 3 logs. There is nothing holds these logs in the place other than they just slightly catching these stones. They are not going behind the stones, they are just touching them. And on this side, there is nothing holds them on this side.
Okay.
And they rest, all of these like 3 round logs, they rest on this like timber, which is completely rotten. I didn't want to touch it because if I step on it, it will just crumble.
Break.
Yeah.
Need a Kleenex. There's a box over there on the table.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Well, here I took some pictures just of the conditions. This is the bottom log. It's completely, that's another timber that does not exist anymore. So it's just. What I also found that this retaining wall, it wasn't installed properly because there is no grounding. It doesn't go inside of the soil. It just sits on top of the soil.
Break on me, Shirley.
Oh,
Maybe you can
yeah, they all, they're beyond me.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh my. Okay, let's.
Okay, so it's going again. This is the top of the landing. This is a garage roof. That's the top log. It doesn't look nice. Okay, so another view. This is a special spot that I wanted to show you. And I even made a picture before and after. So you see this picture is kind of separated in 2 portions. This is on the left side. I took this picture when Tadek came over to do the roof. Because you see there is like a tar roof. It's when they start excavating and removing the soil from the roof before they install the membrane. So you see this timber, it was going behind the stone wall. It's basically a corner of our garage.
Right.
So that timber was slid behind, and this foundation, this is foundation of the wall. It was holding this timber in place.
Right.
But because they needed to remove, I didn't get access to the corner and wrap it with the membrane. They decided to cut this timber on this spot.
Oh.
And that's what they did. They cut this timber. You see, this one is much shorter on this side.
That's the exact same spot.
They cut it around this area,
Right.
there.
Right.
So this way they will get access to this corner
I see.
to wrap it with the membrane. But as a result, the soil that was here, it wasn't supported anymore by the foundation wall, and these wood start moving. If you see this edge, it was on this side, on the left side of the foundation wall. Now this edge is moving past the corner of the foundation wall. So that's basically it's moving. And there is
Now, I thought that was just supposed to hold the soil from running down the hill.
Yeah, but I mean, these timbers, they were kind of rested against the foundation wall. That's why the pressure, the building was holding the pressure of the soil. But as soon as you remove that last piece, just cut it off, and kind of make it shorter.
Is there two? There's two on the left, right?
Yeah, they removed the top.
They remove the top.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we're talking about the middle part. So
The
this
middle
one,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
this one,
Okay,
that's the one that we see here.
I see.
Maybe I'll show you this spot from another place. Let me see. Yeah, maybe we can see it here. That's just a second. So that's what they did.
Oh, over there.
You see, they cut that
Okay.
timber. You see that they cut that timber,
yeah.
and that
Up
gap.
here.
Yeah, they put two stones just to close the gap so the gravel
Okay.
wouldn't fall down. But the timber started moving because it lost support from the foundation wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one thing. And another thing
Okay.
they also didn't do right, I guess, when they were just loading gravel and cement on top of the roof, they were using some kind of excavator. I took a picture like 5 years ago. You see what they were doing? They were
On the wall.
actually running this excavator on the top of the retaining wall.
Oh,
And if you see, the wall looks nice and straight, that wooden part where the excavator is resting. It's not bad, it's not broken, it's not tilted. But if you look at this situation now, let me get you another picture before and after. So again, on the left, you'll see how that wall looked like before.
It was up straight.
Yeah.
Now it's
And now,
Now it's-
definitely leaning.
it's leaning.
yeah, it's leaning, and yeah, it doesn't look very nice. And I even took some more pictures of this, how bad it looks now.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
so yeah, that does look like the excavator damaged that or weakened it.
Yeah, if we go a little bit above, so that's another picture of the timber. As I said, it rests just on the soil, and it's all loose. I mean, I can use my foot, push it, and it will all shakes, which is not good. And what concerns me about this situation, it's that spot. This is where we get a lot of erosion from the rainwater from our neighbors. And I'm concerned about these logs that they are there. Also, this part where we have this no parking, no overnight parking spot. Let me show you another. You see this one?
Oh,
It's by some reason, whoever was building this wall, they decided to make like a frame made of stone and fill up with soil. And this section of the wall, it sticks out. So basically, if we get to the mid-season or maybe close to winter, when the temperature drops, whatever moisture gets inside of the soil, it expands.
it's gonna damage
Yeah,
it.
and it's exposed because it's just a sticking. This part sticks out of the rest of the structure. So that's why, at least 3 layers of these stones, they're loose. You can feel them; they're shaking. So that's how bad it looks like. You see all of these, they're loose. What else? I guess. So let me go back to the project. So this is how it looks right now, and I decided to make a 3D model, and that's how it ended up with my ideas. So it's a 3D model. I was thinking to use just a kind of engineered blocks. It's something that used all over the place.
My brother
Yeah.
has that in his backyard. My brother-in-law.
Yeah, there is a very bunch of manufacturers. They publish the way how it should be installed, how to install the drain and everything. So basically, these retaining walls, they're made of segments, unit, they call it wall unit. They stack on top of each other, and to be properly installed, they need to use gravel. They need to use a drainage pipe behind the wall, so the water would not accumulate behind. So this is kind of a common information. But let me show you something like the project, because you saw the picture of the project, but Where's my navigator? So I made a 3D picture of this retaining wall. So if we get closer, that's how I think it's just an idea. It's not something that's set in stone, but a general idea just to install several layers of these retaining walls. Make sure that there is no much pitch or, from the soil, so there will be no rain, water going. But you might also see these little spots here. Those, I would call them catch basins, and they're all connected to the drainage pipes. Also, there is one big catch basin. It's intended to collect water from the garage roof, which is on the left side, right there. That is the garage roof. You probably recognize the spot of the building, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now, we were told that grass wasn't a good covering for the roof because it holds the water.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, bushes and grass, it's fine as long as the wall is installed properly.
I think you
No,
mean
but
on
I
the
mean
roof.
under the roof.
Right. But that's stone there.
Oh, but that's not under the garage. Okay, never mind.
So.
I was thinking the portion that's the roof over the garage.
I see.
We were told not to put grass there.
Yeah, this is I put this little flag here, the red flag.
Okay.
That's the lowest
That's
spot
where
of
it's leaking.
that's the lowest spot of the driveway of our
their
neighbors.
ramp.
Yeah, that's the ramp, and it goes up. And if you look like this, a little bit like level, you will see that the whole soil goes up, because I did some measurements and level. Basically, this 3D model is pretty accurate by the levels and the sizes. So it all pitch goes towards us. This is just an idea. I put like a channel drain here to collect the water and route it towards here. So you see those two pipes sticking out from the wall. So it's just, again, it's not set in stone. We can change, or maybe the company might offer something better than this.
Right.
If we look from the behind of this 3D model, you will see this catch basin. That's supposed to. This is the drainage from the garage, from the roof garage. It's supposed to be connected. In future, not now, maybe in future, because right now the garage drainage does not work. It just does not. There is no water coming from the garage. All we see is just water coming from underneath of this retaining wall. So this is a catch basin. It's supposed to be connected in the future with the drainage of the roof, and you see it kind of water gets inside its hollow cylinder with the pipes, and this is another. You see, this is like a lower spot of the neighbor's driveway, so we can install either channel drain or just some kind of another catch basin to collect the water and route it again towards our driveway. You see, there's a pipe underneath. Also, if you see each layer of the retaining walls, it has a drainage pipe. I know this 3D model, it's not a solid, because it's like it's SketchUp. It works on surfaces. It's I cannot build like a solid structure, so I can show you. It's basically, it's all surfaces. But I hope you understand what I mean. So those catch basins, if you see from the top, each catch basin, it's connected. It's basically for inspection.
It's connected
Yeah.
to those.
Those those pipes with the holes, they collect water from this each section of the retaining wall. Kind of the water seeps from the bottom and then collects to the catch basins, and then routes through and on our driveway through these pipes. Then rainwater can be collected by this channel drain and routed towards the street, or there is another way we can do this, and I was went to the engineering department of City of Quincy. I explained them the situation that what we would like to do with the drain and kind of repaving, and I asked what they think. So basically, they told me the best way to go to the excavation companies, and they conveniently had several contractors.
Oh, nice.
They gave me a list of these companies. They are all excavations. If you see, none of them is
I
paving.
think I've heard of all of them.
We spoke with Cassiatore Brothers.
Yeah,
We didn't pick them up because they gave us pretty high price.
but Farrell.
But that's the first recommendation from them. So they said you have to talk to the excavation, and you have. They also gave me a map of the rain, how do you call this? Rain water drainage.
Okay.
So there's like a map of pipes, how it goes along our property. It doesn't matter, but I mean, they have a map.
Okay.
And they told me a very simple thing. Just don't go to the paving companies, because they would pave you and they will disappear. They don't care about anything else.
Sure, like as you found.
Yeah. They said
Yeah.
just go to the companies we work with, like Sean Farrell or Mike Keane and this guy, I don't know. And talk to them and just tell them that what you'd like to do. You'd like to connect your drain, like rainwater, to the city system. They will get a permit from us. They have a map. They have access to the rainwater system of underneath of the street. They will just excavate, connect it, and you will never get any water on the driveway. So this way, they might run those channel drains. They might install a catch basin. And he said, that engineer told me that you can leave them up to them. They know what to do. We know the companies. Just let them decide the best way how to install it. And this whole system, the whole idea with removing the rainwater and reinforcing the retaining wall will be just resolved in a civilized and proper, like technically proper way. We don't have to, leave with the rainwater going across our property like before. So the reason why I put this project as the first one, because you see there are several kind of aspects here. First is just retaining wall that's not holding. We need to kind of rebuild the retaining wall and kind of make sure that, again, this area that concerns me the most, because we're so close to the neighbor's property. And there is a very steep angle of the soil, and it constantly erodes, comes down to the bottom of the retaining wall. We need to reinforce it somehow as soon as possible. I mean, within reasonable amount of years, maybe a year or 2 or 3, something like this. We cannot leave it like this, because eventually those logs I showed you at the beginning, where is it? They will just roll. They will tumble down. These logs. See, they will not hold eventually, or maybe the top part of this roof will just collapse because it's not holding anything. So that's why I came up with this idea, because it looks kind of it's easy to install. I mean, there is nothing complicated about this.
Right.
They're all over the place in Quincy, everywhere. People know how to install them. There are like dozens of manufacturers of these blocks. We can pick whatever we want with different structure or facing. And everything that might look complicated for you, like everything that I showed you with drainage system that's hidden underneath, and it's not a rocket science for people who does this work. They know all of this. It's not extremely complicated. It's very simple.
So
project.
then would the city also be advising us on this, or is this a whole separate?
No, city would just approve. They would give us a permit. If
Okay.
the company gives us like a project saying, okay, we can do, maybe they wouldn't do exactly the same. They might install different type of,
Okay.
maybe they will install, instead of like, this is each wall, it's called a course, I think.
Okay.
Well, no, let's call them walls. Like I have 1, 2, 3, 4 walls. They might install 3 or 2. I don't know.
Okay.
The reason why I installed so many of them because I wanted to have some shrubs, so it wouldn't look like a stone, you know, like a prison.
Stair wall or something.
Yeah, because we technically can install just one retaining wall covering the whole thing, but it just wouldn't look nice. It would look like
I
this.
think the idea of the shrubs was also that they would hold in the water somewhat. The
Yeah.
roots would take up the
Yeah.
rainwater.
Also, you see, I added like a slab of stone.
Capstone.
Yeah, because we need to disassemble that several layers of the stone on this area, and probably refill it with the concrete or something. We cannot leave them. We cannot leave soil inside because it's just expands with moisture, and then just cover it with something. So that's the idea. For me, it will give you additional advantage because I cannot even take care of that slope because you cannot plant anything. You cannot plant any, you know, any grass or anything.
It's just a hill.
Yeah.
It's hard to retain.
Yeah, it's pitched, so it's not very easy to maintain for me because all I can do is just to pull weeds from that area. You see, it's too steep to plant anything. And as I said, this is the most dangerous part, this area, because it's so steep and it's nothing holds this area because these logs, they're all rotten, and they rest on a timber, which is just, I can just remove them by hand. Just nothing holds this. It's very dangerous. You see how
So that's not very secure.
yeah, how steep it is. So that's why I put this as a number 1. But again, this is like a just retaining wall project. But let me go to the next one, and we'll just go the rest. I don't want to.
But that is kind of related to the driveway problem because we're still routing the water away from
Yeah.
the driveway.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking to have those like projects, so a company would come and say, okay, we can do in driveway and retaining wall as well. So we can take 2 projects in one. So for them it will be just one project.
And we've already collected for the driveway, but we would need more for the
Probably.
retaining wall part.
What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to show you what I found across the building and
Okay.
see if we
I
can
just
prioritize.
wanted to make
Yeah.
sure I understood.
So let me go to the second one, which is like repointing and installing capstones. And I created this project. It's very simple. I mean, I just took some pictures of what needs to be done. This wall needs to be done like spot repointing. Why I'm saying this, I can explain, because every time when we have rain, especially when it's with the wind, you know this
Yeah, that's
situation.
what I was referring to.
The only reason why we get all this water on the wall, it's just because it gets through the stones. And so the outside stone wall of our building, it's like a mesh.
Okay.
Because otherwise, how would you get the water inside of the building?
Well, I was thinking through this crack
No,
in the
no,
wall.
no. Unfortunately, it's not the case. Well, you know, I live in that area. I have 2 floors. I have storm windows and I have regular windows. I have water dripping between storm windows and regular windows. Between them, it drips inside of the wall. So,
Okay. Oh, okay.
so it's not just because it leaks here. It leaks. A whole wall is like
It's
permeable.
the same idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I put this picture here. That's another like a spot repointing of different areas here and there. I also put installing capstones. I went to a company. It's here in Quincy at Vernon Street. It's close to the BJ's. They still have this stone, so we
Okay.
can use that stone. That's another picture that I just wanted to be present in a project, measured the length and the width. So I would also ask to install capstones just to make sure that there is no moisture gets trapped into this. That's another section of the retaining wall that I would think that needs to be spot repointed
Yes.
and covered with the capstones.
Yes.
That's another wall that needs to be taken care of. And again, you see, I am coming to this area, but we have a separate project for this. So those projects, they're kind of interconnected, because if the company who would do the retaining wall, they might just do the repointing for us, or maybe they will do a driveway. We don't know. Again, I put this spot. Something needs to be addressed here, but I was making this project.
No,
Yeah.
sorry. Is this all soil?
Yeah, that's
it's
soil.
just one stone, and it's all filled with soil
Yeah.
inside?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's like, it looks like a flower bed, but I mean, who would plant flowers in there? That's another item on this project, just to resurface the landing,
Oh, yeah.
because it's like there are a lot of peats.
Oh, at the top on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I put this project together, and let me just show you a few pictures that I wanted to, so you would see why I'm concerned about these repointing issues. This is like retaining walls, just little different spots. You see all of these cracks. Some of the stones, they are loose. You can basically shake them, like this stone is loose. And this is what we see. It's at the front of the building. That's I think Shirley.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So this wall cracked, so it needs to be. This is closer to the stairs. This is the stairs. This is all loose. So if we leave it like this for maybe a few more years, these stones, they will be just falling off.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking that the capstones, it's the way to preserve this wall for it, like years and years to go. This stone is loose. These stones are loose. Yeah, it's all, and as long as we keep
that's
it.
a big project.
Yes, but again, I wanted to show you. This is a retaining wall at the end of the driveway. See that timber? That's from the retaining wall.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And this section where we have green, that's the most damaged area where we have a lot of cracks. That's where water gets inside. Plus, nobody took care of the window frames for the past 50 years. So all of these silicone that was put around these windows, it's all worn out. And there is a lot of leaks there. I can even show you, well, that's another spot here. This is spot from my apartment. It's just outside wall. I'm getting moisture inside of my apartment like this. So it's not just dripping in a dumpster area. It actually leaves behind my sheetrock.
Wow.
And I can show you another picture. That's my second floor. That's my bedroom on the second floor. See this like spot?
Yeah, I've got some here.
You
and
have
there.
something like this?
Yeah. Well, there's water spots on the ceiling.
So it means that there is some kind of crack or gap,
Yeah.
and the rainwater from probably Harry's balcony
Yeah.
gets inside, and then
Yeah.
remember how we have
I
this
always
structure.
assumed someone just had a leak upstairs.
No, I mean this one is just
Okay.
getting wider every year.
Huh.
It's just, you see, it's just the window. That window faces the intersection.
Okay.
So I guess on the fourth floor, there is maybe a gap. Maybe the window frame is not sealed. So when it rains, the water gets
Sure.
inside and it gets through the stone wall and cinder block wall and gets on the metal, because remember how our ceilings are holding? We have metal.
Okay.
How do you call this? I forgot. Struts, not struts, rafters. Metal.
Yeah, metal rafters.
Rafters, yeah. So the water gets on the metal rafter, and along that rafter it just travels to the middle of the room. So that's what I have into my apartment. That's how it looks like. And that's rainwater. It gets, every time when I get rain, it gets wet, and I get another contour of moisture. So this is not a coincidence. This water gets through.
So that's the same kind of thing happening.
Yeah, it's all of these cracks. It's, as I said, especially around the balconies. This is the worst part. Let me see. This green area along the frames of the balconies.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's because the rainwater gets from the roof, it drops on the balcony, and kind of splashes on the sides of the balconies and rains along the wall. And if it's winter, it freezes and freezes, freezes and freezes, and it gets worse and worse and worse. I mean that about like 3-4 feet of the section of the wall that's completely filled up with cracks. You can stick your pencil inside of these cracks. And of course, all of these areas around the windows. You see this board?
Sure.
It's loose. It's not connected to the wall anymore.
Oh, yeah.
It's loose. And again, if it's loose here, maybe there is some kind of gap above the window. The rest of the wall is fine. Well, let's say if you just go in the middle of the wall, like in this area, it looks fine. There is nothing wrong with this. But it's very bad around the windows and the balconies. So that's why I was calling when I was making that project, I was calling spot repointing. So around windows and balconies, plus resealing windows and balconies frames.
Okay.
So I'm not calling this like a full repointing project. It's just might be done pretty quickly if they would just do like a crane or some kind of lift and just get and treat those areas around the windows, maybe with cement or caulk or something like this.
What about the bricks? Is there any spots with the bricks?
I don't see any issues with the bricks.
Okay.
Brick looks good. It's just this area, it's so bad.
Okay.
And we cursed because of this roof, because of this rainwater from the roof. It's cascades from balcony to the balcony to the balcony, and that's the worst area. No, of course, plus windows. Windows, they don't have proper window seals outside, exterior window seals.
Okay.
That would drain the water, because you're supposed to have something like this so it would prevent water from dripping to your to the person below.
Okay.
They don't have anything like this. They were just relying on the sealant or silicone. But again, this is an area of the building that is getting exposed to the
1970s
sun.
construction.
50 years for the silicone and it's gone. So okay, so I think that's enough for the second one. I just don't want you to hold to listen.
So that's all number 2
Yeah.
on your list.
The number 3 is paving. I don't have any specific project. We talked about paving multiple times. We discussed that we know that rainwater gets from underneath of the retaining wall like this.
And we've collected for this already.
Yeah, we know that what we have that issue. Most likely this repaving will be included into the retaining wall project or repointing.
Okay.
So that's why I didn't create it right now, because it's kind of secondary. Feels like it's a secondary. So we saw all of this picture. I said, all of these projects, they are kind of overlaps. That's why I had hard time kind of finding another one company to do, because there is always something that could be done at the same time. Okay, so
Yeah, except that we don't have the money necessarily.
okay, so now this project is installing a roof for the garage gates. The idea was to once we get the paving, to avoid that situation when we get rainwater
Okay.
dripping from the edge of this aluminum and destroying our driveway, we would need to kind of make it nice and clean, this area. Just
Okay.
that's why I put it this way. So I remove this aluminum piece that's right there. Remove all of the paint and rust and prime and paint it with the rust-proof paint. All of this area that we see, the bottom, the sides of the balcony frames, and the bottoms.
Many of the balconies need
Well,
that.
we'll get to the
Alright.
pointing or to the painting later. This is just a standalone. It might go along with another project as well, but I put it as a separate project. And I also created like a 3D model that would show us how that roof might look like. So the idea is just to basically install a roof.
Yeah,
And
make it look a little better.
yeah, so that's how it looks like, might look from the bottom. So I also added the gutter, so the downspout would go to the, it will be connected to the drain
drainage
system. Yeah,
system.
it's already, you see the timber here, but I mean, in reality, it's not going to be
It
timber.
would be some
So
other,
this
other
project
material.
obviously going to be after the other project. So that's another picture how it might look like, and I can show you. That's it. That's my information, and I can show you just to fly through these projects, so you will feel a little bit better how it looks like in a 3D model. So these measurements, they are pretty accurate. Everything that I did. You see, oops, where is it? Oh, let me hide this. Hide. So if we install vented soffits here, they might just match the existing soffits that we have here, because this is existing wall, roof. It does exist, that area.
Right.
All we need to do, I did some measurements. Eugene saw me jumping with the ladder on this. What I found that actually it could be installed in a nice and straight way, and the drain, you see, from this roof can be connected to this existing gutter by just this element. So this roof would look clean and nice, and that's how it looks like from. And if we look from here, it would look bright and without all of these balcony structures that we usually see, the rusted one. It will be covered with the soffits. I think it's good and clean view if we can even install a couple of lights, something like this.
And the lights would be a little bit brighter against white, and that would be a security
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You could see better.
Yeah, plus it would look like a nice entrance to the building, not like it looks like right now, because if you remember in the project, that's how it looks right now.
Right.
It looks kind of tired and dated and like, all of these bars going in different
Yeah.
directions and rust and everything, compared to what we might have if we just install this roof here like this. So that's just my idea.
Okay.
The reason why I did this project, I wanted to make sure that the gutter might fit so see, it doesn't, unfortunately there is nothing straight with our building. Many lines, they are kind of bent and crooked, but it's still doable. This could be done. So That's how the gutter would go. It go around this Eugene's balcony. Oops. Like this. So there will be enough pitch for the water here.
Okay.
To get in the gutter, almost the same pitch like we have on this roof. So I think it looks clean and nice if we can get this. So that's, I don't want to waste your time on this one anymore. Okay, again, my goal is just to show you everything, and then we'll take a look, maybe even sleep on this, and then we'll decide which one. Okay, now there is back porch. You know that our back porch was broken by this branch. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So this is how it looks like right now. The whole roof is not connected to anything. It's just loose. Basically, if there is a strong wind, it will fly. It was supposed to be attached, but once Tadek was working on this project, he didn't attach it properly. Just sitting on top and nothing. I made a 3D project, and I even made a little video. It's like, call it like fly through. So that's how the roof might look like if it's installed like a new roof. I was using polycarbonate. It's like a semi-translucent panels that you can buy in Home Depot. Pretty straightforward, just wood, rafters, nothing special. So it's pretty easy and clean project. But I would still need to clarify something. Okay, so that's basically how it looks like. It's the same roof. So when we look at the pictures of the existing one, the wall, they're damaged by the water because we had a lot of water coming onto the top of the wall. So some of the stones are loose, and that's why I added to the project capstones. You see there's a significant crack in here. So it's easy to take apart this wall by hand. Just also that wall needs to be. Yeah, that's what happened after the rain. So the water gets onto the wall, and there is a significant crack on top. You see, this is. But I found that the top of the wall is not level, so it kind of going down closer to the. Let me show you, maybe on this picture. So this spot, it's about 3 inches lower than the spot in the inside. So we would need to kind of level it and install capstones, I think. Plus, the way I designed the roof, it will be sitting slightly higher, and that would allow us to extend the roof closer towards the entrance, close us, and this way, whoever is walking on the stairs, he wouldn't hit the roof with his head.
Right.
Well, it's really only used by you and the people in 16.
No, just in case. Because right now, if we just try to install a new roof on the existing wall, we would not be able to extend it to the edge because it will be too low. So that's why I think it's beneficial to install capstones here.
Okay.
So it will make
well,
that.
It would protect the wall too.
It will protect the wall. It will. This way, the wall will be covered with the roof, and we would not need to worry about this section. So, again, I did a little project. So basically, that's how it looks like.
Oh, okay.
So that capstone is going to add us maybe an inch and a half. Plus, we will level this wall. It will be a little bit more straight because right now it goes, the real wall, it goes down, 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 and this edge of the wall is like 3 inches lower than this edge. So we can lift it up and basically cover this. We also can install capstones.
Now, I'm wondering if that was pitched that way for rainwater to run off.
No, it was. Why is it? Oh, it's me. Doesn't want to, turn for me by some reason horizontally. It's okay. Well, the pitch was like this way. It was going from here. That's the highest point right there, and it was going this way.
Yeah.
It's not because of the rain. It's just because they didn't pay attention to what they were doing.
50 years ago.
Yeah. So that's a relatively simple project. Doesn't really require any interference with the unit owners or anything like this. So it's pretty straightforward. Could be done by any handyman. But I mean, I can probably do this, but I didn't know the prices or anything like this. As of the materials and the labor, it's easy to do. It's easy to do. So that's another project. Okay, we're done with this.
Now on your list, that's number
It was number 5, back porch roof.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and entrance door. We talked about this. There is no project for this. I didn't do anything.
It's just all rusted
Yeah,
on the bottom.
Yeah, looks tired. There is rust at the bottom, but there is nothing critical about this. It's and still serves the purpose. I found a couple of companies. One is Dorchester Doors and Windows. I think they install, and there is like another quality windows and doors in Weymouth. They also install doors for like ready to go. So you basically just pay and they install the door.
It would need to go with the style of the building.
They know what
Yeah.
they're doing. They have plenty of companies and manufacturers, and they can do this. I don't know the price, but I think maybe a few years ago when we were talking about this door, I think it was close to several $1,000s. The door plus installation it was like $3,000 or $4,000, something like this. I didn't go for that project back then. Didn't want to go because I wanted to install something cheaper, but I ended up with someone explained to me that this is commercial size of the door.
Oh,
It's wider than just residential, so
Oh.
there is no such thing as cheap
Okay.
for commercial application.
okay.
So it will
So
be
you can't run down to Home Depot.
no. And if you go for like commercial, the cheapest one, it would look like a storage door more likely. Like we have a door downstairs to the garage.
Okay.
It's not gonna look nice and presentable. So if we need to install something nice and clean looking, we have to probably buy it from those companies.
Any thought to updating the lock on the door so that it could be on like some kind of timer where it would lock automatically at midnight and people who come in at night would have to use a key to unlock? I don't know if there's anything like there probably is with like
We can think about this.
might be an update to the security of the building, I guess.
We can think about this, but I guess it's typically done by like a concierge. He would just lock the door.
Yeah,
For the night.
Oh,
and I'd offer to run over and lock it, but I'm apt to fall asleep.
yeah, it's a hard commitment to make.
Yeah, well, again, this is not critical. I just wanted to point out that we still have this on the list. We should probably
Okay.
address this. Okay, then backyard retaining wall. That's another thing that might be connected to the front,
To the
another retaining wall.
to
Because,
the
yeah, this is a smaller project. I mean, relatively smaller project.
oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah. That's how it looks like right now.
Okay.
It's kind of rotten. It's not holding well. So I put these pictures. And this is a picture from the roof, from the garage roof project. The reason why I put this picture here, just to see the contours of the roof
Okay.
versus the real position of the retaining wall. And if you can see here what they were doing, they actually digging underneath of the retaining wall.
Oh.
They were removing some soil. And you can see it even worse here. So they dug from underneath of the retaining wall.
So there's nothing supporting the wall.
Right now, no. And after they put the soil back together, the wall wasn't structurally sound as it was. It was basically
Yeah.
sagging. That's why it was going. And that's another spot. You see, that's how interesting. They installed that timber wall. It's not even mimics the contour of the garage. Uh, it's just sits sideways. Uh, that's another picture. That's when the membrane was installed. Again, this is just for
Okay.
information. What I put on this project, because the drain system does not work, whatever they installed, it was working for one season, and I guess it was clogged by the soil. It was probably done because they didn't install maybe they didn't use proper materials. They didn't use the water permeable membrane for this project. I don't know, but obviously water does not come out. It's supposed to, once you install the drain, the rainwater should see daylight. It should come out somewhere, but it doesn't. So maybe if we decide to do something with the backyard and maybe take care of that backyard retaining wall, we might also address the drainage for the garage, kind of reinstall it back in the proper way.
It's
And
not a much of a pitch, right? It's a very slight pitch.
slight pitch, yeah.
Yeah.
Pitch is just barely minimum pitch. Let me show you a few pictures here that I took, just kind of to show you. Again, this is from 4 or 5 years ago when Tadek was just removing the soil from the roof. It's still original tar roof of the
Okay.
before the membrane was installed. Just to show you what kind of work was done. Again, this is they dug this trench along project.
So the drainage needs to be fixed along the edge
Yeah.
of the roof.
It's not functioning right now. And what I also talked to Ken Walton about this. He also noticed that there is we have several cracks in the foundation of the garage wall, and sometimes water seeps through. I think he noticed, and I think I noticed as well, after for the past few years, it looks like there is more water seeping through these cracks. It might be just an indication that we have a lot of water, like a pressure behind the foundation wall, because it's not being removed properly. It still sits there and saturates the soil.
I think we've had that problem for a while, and they've tried various
It feels like
kinds of drainage, and
feels like it worsened a little bit.
hasn't really worked right.
Those are just general pictures from the, and that's what we have right now. That's a recent picture from
Yeah.
you see. Remember how they remove?
So those are collapsing.
Yeah, how they remove the soil from underneath. So that whole wall, it's not really holding. It used to be a solid wall. Now it's sagging, and it's all wobbly. Same with this area. You can shake it, well, just push it with your foot. This area of the wall, there is a lot of erosion and a lot of soil. Just basically every time when it rains, soil from here it gets here and just kind of spreads all over this area. So this gravel is already saturated with soil.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to avoid with the.
Yeah, this area, there is nothing holds this. It's just barely hanging by itself.
But it is holding the soil back a little bit.
It's not exactly holding because soil barely touches this wall. It doesn't really you see, it's not coming from the top. The soil goes to probably to the second course of
But
this
it
wall.
seems to be worse in the area where there is no wall.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you can see the difference between the area that
Oh, yeah,
has the
definitely.
retaining wall and the area that doesn't.
Yeah, if we wouldn't have this, all of the soil will be already mixed up with the
Right.
gravel, definitely.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah, that's that spot. Yeah, and that's the side of the like. They didn't remove. I guess when they were excavating the soil from the roof, they didn't remove all of the soil. They left some of the soil on the side, so that's why it's kind of strange. You're supposed to get drain from the roof, so the water is supposed to go to the edge, and all of a sudden soil goes up. So it looks like this soil is supposed to be going slightly down to allow water from the roof to go down, because always water always goes down, and this kind of also blocks the maybe that's why we get a little bit more seepage from the cracks in the foundation, because we didn't have that much like gravel on the sides. So what I'm thinking, again, this is another view of this wall. It's also kind of slightly washing off. That's another view of the going. And this is our neighbors. That's their fence that belongs to them. Looks like they don't care, and I'm thinking maybe it's
Yeah,
ugly.
I mean, they're saying it's ours.
That's their fence. Just they don't care. It used to be on the ground. I put it up and just put that. You see that spot right there? This one? That's where Tadek left the drain pipe. But every time when it rains, there is absolutely no water coming from this spot. If I use a shovel and just push a little bit of that gravel, you will see a drain pipe. There is no water coming from that drain. It's supposed to be draining like very heavy
Okay, so it
after
must
each
be
rain.
all plugged.
Drain
or
does not
something.
work. Definitely does not work. And this is just to show you the condition of the side of the building. You see those metal poles, and that's ours. You see that little pole. And what's interesting, you see how this.
Yeah, that was the metal.
You see that pole
Fence.
right in the middle of the screen
That was the
with the
fence.
pipe? That was used to be a top of our fence.
Yeah,
So that's how much gravel they left on our property from, because they covered the fence completely. Okay. You see?
yeah.
It's buried completely.
That's the top of our fence.
Yeah. And this I feel that's not right.
Can we excavate some of this dirt when we're doing the retaining wall, maybe? We could even excavate that whole corner out.
Yeah. I don't have any project for this specifically for the whole retaining wall. I just wanted to show you the problems that we're facing, because at some point we probably would need to do something with this side of the property, because it like just looks ugly. All of the fence is broken, all of this, what I found, as I said, I don't have a project, but I found a few, just a kind of typical pictures, like what people would have in a situation like this. That's what probably would work for us. Instead of just having that gravel and the soil that constantly washes on a roof, we might just excavate some of this gravel completely, install a retaining wall, put some grass on top, and have something like this. Maybe like this. It's pretty common to install something like this at the edge of the property, or something like this. So those are just pictures from from the web. So I think that's it about the backyard retaining wall. Just I think we eventually would need to do something with the backyard. And there are two left. One is house numbers, and again, I don't have a project for this, but I took a picture of our sign, like how it looks like this.
Yeah.
That's the building, and it looks tired. It's just the plywood. ZB did this for us.
Yeah, about 7 years ago.
Yeah. So it's all kind of, cracked and washed off. Something like this. The lacquer is all cracked. So it looks tired, in my opinion. What I found, I was looking for some kind of LED illuminated numbers, the house numbers, and I found a company who makes them. They're, I think, 7 or 8 inches tall, each of the letters, and I found some general pictures that I see. That's how they might look like. So
Oh, yeah.
like this, or maybe like this, like this. They're not very expensive. I mean, each number, it costs, I think, $80. So we need like 3 of them. In 215, and plus installation, it might just refresh the look of the building, because, as I said, right now what we have currently, this looks kind of dated, but this is more related to the door. But what I was thinking, we can install those numbers right here, like on this side of the building, right there. You see where I'm moving the cursor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this way they will be like closer to the street, and they will be visible from all over the place and from the street easily. Plus, we might be able to connect the power, because we need LEDs to power. We might be able to run the power from these building lights. So as soon as we get the lights on, we can get the numbers lit up as well. So
That's a good idea.
during the day, they're not going to be lit up, but just once we get the building lights on, we get those numbers. And as I said, this is just, I found the closest picture. So if we look at this position from the numbers, I think this is the closest how it might look like, this one. Oh, where is it? Oh, doesn't want to open for me. Just a second. For some reason cannot close this. Oh, and now it's working. Yeah. So the closest picture I was hoping to find might look like. Again, this is not critical, it's more cosmetics, but it would look nice just to refresh the look of the building. So, and now the last one, it's the balconies painting. I created a little project here and took all the pictures of the balconies that we have. And if you see, I put some notes that these balconies will be excluded from the project because they are included in a Gates roof project.
Okay.
They're slightly different. It's not just painting. It's more installing soffits, gutters and everything. But it could be combined. This project could be combined, painting with that project, depending on what contractors will be working on this. So I put some text. So remove old paint and rust from the balcony frames, rails, treat with rust converter, paint with 2 layers. So that these balconies, these balconies, these balconies, these balconies. And I also wrote this little thing. So I think that might look nice if we install vented soffits under the balconies. You see, I was just using Photoshop, and I created a picture like we have soffits right there.
Okay.
Under the balconies. It's this versus this.
Yeah, because those are in tough shape too in some spots.
Plus, I constantly have rust kind of falling down from these, frames and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, me too.
so maybe just if we, after the painting, we can install those soffits, and that they would look like this. It will be much cleaner.
Yeah.
I even that's a sample of vented soffit. It's basically just aluminum profile with holes. So this way, the moisture, if it gets there, it will be kind of.
Make sure the bird nests are.
Oh, there will be no bird nests. It actually
That's what I
helps.
mean. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
there are
Yeah.
in mine. They'd have to be removed.
The idea came from this building. It's I took this from my car when I was driving at the Wollaston station
Yeah.
on the left. So I took a picture just out of my window. You see, they installed soffits under each balcony. It looks kind of okay. They don't have to be white, but I mean, it could be gray or brown.
Yeah. I saw a building today or the other day on Independence Ave, and they did the balconies over, and it just improved the look of the building tremendously.
Okay, well, that basically wraps up with my section of the projects and repairs. I guess we can probably stop the recording. It's already an hour 40 minutes. It's just for that section I was presenting.
Okay.
And
And
then
I know it was recording me too.
yeah. And then
That's
we'll
okay.
talk to the rest of the items on.